Hello, everybody. We are here at the Red King, and we're going to be doing a Western extravaganza tonight based on what comes after the good, bad, the ugly. And this is called Tuco's Gold. We'll introduce the players a little bit later, and right now we're just going to get right started. So everybody finds themselves in the space between towns. They left Abilene earlier today, 8 hours. They've traveled some bit. The sun is just meeting the horizon, and the sky is red, almost deep purple, and the wind is kicking up the dust and bending the scraggly bits of grass that exist along the road, or a trail is a more apt description. And so they sit there around what could be a fire, and there are three of them. They are hunting, you could say, for a man named Tuco. So when we look onto the campsite, who do we see and what do we see? And let's start with Jack. Introduce your character.
Darren Ryder. He's an older fella, mid-30s. He's lived in between towns most of his life, but in his 20s he's joined up with Texas Rangers. As such, he still wears a badge, but the identification, the sheriff was sanded off, and he sits forlorn.
And in the circle with that forlorn older gentleman, we also see another man. Introduce your character, Philip.
Coyotito is squatting by the fire, stirring the beans and taking out a roasted dried chili, breaking it up and sprinkling it in there. He looks over at his companions and just kind of thinking how weird it is he's ended up with them, and how hopeful he is that these are the ones who will help be able to find the gold.
Excellent. So tending the fire. And then next, there is the last man in the group. And go ahead and introduce your character, Jordan.
Denver Hill is Fast Fingers Denver, as he's known, is the fastest guy on the Rio Grande. He's a thief. He's a bandit, and he's an older dude, gray beard, turned up a collar hat, pretty private. Used to run with, he ran with Tuco once to try and get a big score that Tuco had planned on robbing a train that was headed for a Federal Reserve back east. And Tuco screwed him out of it. Told him to go check the last car. And as he did, Tuco detached that car and took the rest of the train with him. And Denver got pinched, spent 2 years in jail, broke his way out. And he's been on the hunt for Tuco ever since to get his gold back and to get his revenge on Tuco. He carries, you'll notice the person he always has is almost like Ghost Rider style around him, is a prison chain. And it's the chain that he was locked up in for 2 years that he has sworn to use on Tuco should he ever see him again for putting him in there. But he would just be keeping to himself, chewing on some jerky.
Excellent. And so you guys would be winding down the evening. Now, you would have been riding hard this day. You had gotten news in Abilene that Tuco had been seen out this way. And so you would have been probably making pretty good time, but having not found him before the sunset, imagine yourself as tired as you would be after a harder than usual day's ride. And so you're out The sun is going down. Certainly wouldn't usually ride at night, and you don't seem to be right now. Out in the distance, you hear a few yips of the coyotes, and the general rustling of tumbleweeds. Sorry, the the word for that escaped me for a second. The rustling of tumbleweeds, which almost certainly don't exist in this area that we are in particularly, but it's okay. This is a fantasy. As the tumbleweeds roll past, the fire crackles. I'll leave it to you guys to either have any conversations, or you can just describe yourself. Perhaps your character is a type that tucks in early for the night. But let's see how the night winds down. You can go in any order.
Oye, Denver. Fast fingers. Taste this. You like it? He'll hand you a spoon of the beans that he's cooking.
I'll kind of look at it. You make it?
Of course.
Got any meat in it?
He smiles a broad grin of just yellowing teeth and says, "No, amigo, I cannot afford meat."
Well, then it ain't nothing a human should eat. I ain't eating it. I'll stick to the jerky.
Have it your way. He'll offer some tortillas and beans over to Darren.
No thanks. Been a long ride, and I think it's time for me to settle down. Ain't hungry. Thanks anyway. And Darren slowly he notices it. Sympathy runs into his eyes, but he stares back out into their eyes and then pulls out his gun and cleans out the chambers.
What's eating him, huh?
Reckon same thing eating all of us. We gotta find Tuco.
At the reminder, you'll kind of see the expression on Coyotito's brown and dirty face just kind of get more serious, and he'll nod to you. You're right. And he'll quietly finish his meal.
Y'all want me to, I'll sit here and take first watch. I ain't much of a sleeper anyway.
Sounds good to me.
And with that, Denver will pull out his pistol and completely not even thinking to do it after seeing Darren do it. And he'll pop out the chamber that holds the 6 shots and just start cleaning each one and making sure he's got all his stuff in order to sit there for the night.
Okay. And the evening would pass uneventfully tonight. Each of you would take your turns, I imagine, and when the sun rose, Darren, you would be on watch as everybody else starts to rise from the sun, peeking over the distant hills and plateaus. As you lay on this flat ground, those of you who are sleeping begin to wake up.
Coyotito, first thing he does is goes and tries to start some coffee.
Excellent. So maybe a little bit behind him on the waking up order. Denver, you actually wake up to the smell of those coffee beans getting roasted in the hot water, just giving off that great coffee smell. And Darren, you would, having already been up, begin to smell that as well.
Henry would walk over to where the coffee is, push himself up in a little spot in the coals, slap down his frying pan, and start throwing some very thin strips of bacon on there.
So as your apparently very well-fed hunting posse begins to griddle up its breakfast meats in classic American style with its coffee. Yeah, you are well energized. I will certainly not be taking any points away from you guys for lack of feeding or energy. And so as everyone takes their breakfast, and I imagine kind of starts to saddle up. You guys are heading, by the way, east. So just let me know how that looks and who's leading who.
Well, with a full belly and a sharp mind, let's hit the trail.
Agreed.
Coyotito will definitely not go first.
Henry would go first. He'd kick his horse in the side and just get it going.
And now, Denver, you just so happen to be riding this, what I think is a really nice piebald Mustang, brown and white with two different colors of brown in, almost like a Dalmatian, but much larger, of course. Really nice looking horse. Coyotito, you are surprisingly riding what any equestrian would know as essentially a Spanish military horse. It's a very nice horse. Unusual, but they exist out here just because of the Spanish military's invasions into various areas in this region. So you have yourself an unusually tall and picturesque horse. And Darren is riding your sort of your typical everyman's horse out here. It's a dark brown dun with a lighter brown mane, and all these horses are trail fit and ready to go. And so if Denver is taking the lead, then yeah, that piebald kind of takes the heel in the side and begins to kind of move its way down the trail. And so you guys are going to be passing mostly open areas. It's a pretty distinguished trail. It's really just a well-ridden area about the width of a wagon. That's about as heavy as the traffic on this kind of road gets. And off in the distance, so to your right, which would be to the south, you do see some cliffs, rocky cliffs that kind of mark the border between the territories. And straight ahead of you, just more of the same. And Denver, what's your perception? Passive.
It is a impressive 10.
Impressive 10. Okay, so not until you are as close as it, to the point where anyone could see it, you'll notice out in front of you about 200 yards is a wagon, sort of cocked precariously to one side.
He'll pull his horse back pretty abruptly to the point where the horse kind of like spins in order to get that stop going. And as the horse is spinning back around, he looks back at his compatriots. Wagon about 200 yards ahead. Coyotito, you might be able to afford some meat after all.
Great.
And with that, he would kick the piebald to the side again and start riding toward, but a little slower. Kind of signaling back, just like keep a slow pace.
Do any of us have a rifle?
Yeah, all you guys should have starting gear. So whatever the standard 5e gave you, you could take any one of those weapons and trade it. Oh, you were just asking if any of them took a rifle, didn't you? Sorry, I was
Yep.
jumping. Yep, okay. So actually, I don't know the answer to that. You guys tell me.
I've got a medium revolver. Literally, you see exactly this strapped to his waist.
That's
That's it.
badass. Cool. And yeah, Darren, Ryder.
Darren, he just has a heavy revolver. 45 Peacekeeper.
Okay.
So you guys are all pistolist. Yeah. So you guys are level. What level did I have you guys make? 3, right?
5.
5, right? Yeah. So actually, I actually meant to tell you if any of you, I don't know if you did, took duelist. Then
Nope.
you, if any of you take dual wielding, sorry, that's what I meant. Dual wielding, then you can add a second pistol so that you can actually have 2 pistols. That's the only minor altercation.
Okay. Well, let's hope there's some rifles on this wagon.
Or maybe let's not. I don't know. But yeah. So
Rifles with no one holding them would be preferable.
well, yeah, there you go. That's the win-win. But as you guys start to come a little bit closer, you're moving sort of at half speed here, trotting up. But you will start to see some people kind of moving around. However, you can easily see, even from this distance, that at least 3 of them are children, and at least one of the adults is a woman in a large skirt. So not necessarily a gunslinger. That's what you can tell from this distance.
Denver's still going to pick up his pace a little bit, seeing that it's not an immediate threat. He's still in his holster, pulls the hammer back on his gun, and just leaves it there. And rides up and just gets as close to the lady as he can. You all right, ma'am?
Okay, and so if you guys all come kind of riding up there, so the woman will have noticed you coming up, and she'll kind of has turned, and she has one hand on one hip, and you would actually see right as you get up next to her, a man sort of step out from behind the wagon. He has like a cloth like over his shoulder. His hands are like covered in some sort of a grease, like he's clearly been working on something. And and the woman says, "Oh, hello. My name Birgit. We are new to this area. Wagon troubles. We are sorry. We're sorry." And she's clearly doesn't know the customs around here. She's talking in I'm probably not doing it well, but a broken Swedish accent.
You know, it's saying a place to be breaking down. The bandits being roaming these hills.
"Hello, sir." And the man's voice comes from behind you. Yes, yes, I know. This is probably a bad place for us to be. We do not plan to be staying long. I'm just going to be fixing the wagon wheel, and then we will be on our way. Thank you very much. We do not mean to hold you up.
No, he ain't holding us up. We ain't in any hurry. Are we, boys?
I'll kind of look at
Definitely
you
not.
and yeah, just grin.
Well, I reckon we could probably help you, but I want to need you to do one thing. Need you and your wife and your kids to all put your hands on the wagon. You understand?
And one of the children, Papa, what does he mean?" And the dad says, "Well, is this a holdup? Because we don't have much. You can take what we have. It's in the back of the wagon. We don't need it much longer. We are almost to Abilene. We want no trouble."
Well, that all depends if you put your hands on the wagon. And with that, he rears the horse back, and kind of in a cool fashion, as the horse rears, he slides off the back onto his feet and starts walking towards the wagon.
The man is going to try to put himself between you and the wagon and say, allow me to help you. And he starts to walk with you towards the back of the wagon.
Tito will pull out his gun and cock it. He has a light, small revolver. He'll say, "You heard him, amigo. Put your hands on the wagon, and he can check it out for himself."
Easy, Tito. We ain't robbing these people yet. Just take it easy.
Oh,
And,
my mistake. And he'll like and holster it.
And as you guys do that, the man is going to say something in Swedish to his family, and the wife starts to kind of bustle the children around and like having them all put their hands on that end of the wagon.
Now, why don't you point me to your wagon trouble? See if we can do something about it.
Yes, of course. And so he would walk you to the other side carefully, and he would kind of point towards the front. I guess it would be in our times, front passenger side wagon wheel. Clearly a broken spoke and a misformed wheel causing a lot of problems.
Is this a covered wagon or open?
It is a covered wagon.
Okay. While he's walking him around to the front, can I like sneak around to the back to see what is they have in there?
There you go.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry.
Now you're getting it.
So here's the thing. So Darren is still up front with the wife and the kids, I'm imagining. So he kind of has them under control. So if you are going to try to stealth over there, what you're basically doing is trying to go look in the back of the wagon without the wife and the kids noticing you doing that. So roll me a stealth check to do that. But either way, you're going to the back of the wagon.
Yes. Oh man, nat 1, first roll of the game.
So in classic Coyotito fashion, you basically like start to like tiptoe, but you're like stepping on tumbleweeds, is crunch, crunch, and you get to the back and you just reach in and just like grab the first sack you see and just like shove it over to the other side. You just, if this is your attempt at stealth, it is not good. And you hear, oh, and the father, he should be, but I can help him. And he's talking, he would be talking to you, Denver, because he is with you by the wheel. And meanwhile, I'm sorry, let me just also say that Jack, the wife, is calling out to him directly next to you.
Calm down. You ain't speaking anything I understand. He's fine. He just nosy, Wetbacks ain't the most sociable people.
Let's not. Sorry.
I'm sorry, getting in character.
Yep, gotcha, no problem. Just
they ain't too sociable. He's just checking you out, making sure no bandits rolled in and hitchhiking a free ride.
And Jack, sorry, Darren.
Oh, yeah, never mind. Forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, the wife she basically once she says what she has to say to the husband, and he kind of moves to try to intercept. She kind of quiets back down and gets real nervous. Meanwhile, Tito, roll me a investigation check.
Okay, 22.
20?
Much better.
Okay, so you move that first sack over and boom, you hit like the basket and it like kind of crunches a little bit and you kind of reach forward kind of roughly and you move this other sack, and when you do, what you're looking at is a snakeskin boot sticking out from underneath 2 sacks over each other.
Oh, shit. Okay, sorry. I gotta think what I'm gonna do. Oh shit. Basically, I'm just going to try to, as nonchalantly as possible, like pretend like I just didn't see anything and just like put stuff back. And I want to come out and say, these people are poor. They've got nothing for us.
Well, that's unfortunate. I don't know how they're going to pay for their wagon repair then. And with that, he'll kind of look at the husband.
Yes, we are very poor, sir. But I'm sure that there's something in there that makes everything worth your time. Um, I do appreciate you stopping to make sure we're okay. Perhaps I could give you. I'm a cobbler. I have extra pair of shoes. Would you like some shoes?
Deborah kind of looked down at his feet, at his boots. Hey, I ain't got much need for shoes.
Worth some money. Or you could just perhaps just be on your way and tell a passing traveler that a couple of people will be out here willing to pay for wagon supplies.
Yeah, seem to be pretty eager to get us out of here, partner. I'm gonna go just check out your wares for myself. See what I can see as payment.
People
And he'll walk
from
to the back.
Yeah, and he's like trying to call after you, but you're like not listening. He's,
And on the way
Wait,
back, he'll
were
pull
those-
out his gun and
Were
start
those
like.
shoes attached to a person? That's kind of what I was assuming by your description. Maybe I completely misunderstood that. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you weren't misunderstanding. I mean, even if he's a shoemaker, this was a used, worn, dusty snakeskin boot, and it looked like there was a leg in it.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So if I am able to see Denver approaching the back of the wagon, I want to be like, I checked it, it's fine, come on, like, don't worry about it, come here.
All right, so yeah, he'll walk over, and at this point, he pulls his gun out, still got the hammer cocked, and he's gonna turn the corner so that you can see the back of his head, but his face is covered by the wagon, so he can talk to Tuco without them seeing.
And I'm just gonna be like,
sorry, I think
he froze up on me.
Or he froze?
Yeah, he froze on me too, so I didn't hear any of it.
I heard him say he's like, and then that was like,
oh, sorry, did I freeze?
Yeah, it froze up
yeah,
on
I
me.
think he did.
Okay. I think he's in the wagon.
What? Who's in the wagon?
And I just like look at you intently. Him.
Yeah. All right. Just hold on. Not making any sense. So he'll go. Denver will go over and look at the wagon. He'll use his gun to kind of like poke bags out of the way. The tip of his gun.
Koyotika will just make sure to try to cover the other side of the wagon in case this guy is gonna jump out.
Okay, so where are you guys? Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Darren. Where are you?
Darren's got his gun drawn, trying to cover everyone he can. Well, Denver and Gokino, Koitito do their thing.
I can't go over his name every time I say it. It's so much fun.
Dude, it's kind of awesome. It's kind of funny that keeps happening. It's really good.
So he'd be like, seeing Darren do this, he'd be like, just keep them at the front of the wagon. Don't let them be milling about. All right, let's show me what you found. And he'll look back at Coyotito.
So you're asking me to show you what I found?
Yeah, because you covered it back up, right, with the bags?
Yeah.
Yeah, show me.
Okay, well, shoot. I guess so I just kind of will climb into the wagon, and I want you to stay towards the back, and I'll get in the front, and I'll just like try to grab one bag where I think is the face of this guy.
Right as you reach to grab the bag at the face, you're going to hear chick, chick. And all of a sudden the voice goes, "Hey, friend. Something I can do you for? I don't think there's anything that you're looking for back here, unless it's trouble, in which case you found it."
Well, shit, I don't think he make no shoes.
And then an arm moves that bag that you were reaching for. It's Tuco.
I'll quickly try to like reach out, bring out my weapon, but not like fire it, just like fumbling for it, while also trying to probably scramble out the front of this wagon.
Now you were kind of like right near Tuco, right?
Yeah, I was right there.
Yeah, so I think Tuco's going to kind of like with one hand, like reach for your hand that's going for the gun and kind of like put his hand out like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And he's going to like kind of jab the shotgun towards you. More of an intimidation than anything.
Darren will just still stand at the back. He's looking at the guy. He didn't look at what's going on in the thing. He'd be like, you're out hearing the little shudder when he grabs his hand. Y'all right there, Koya?
So yeah, so he rolled a 12 intimidation. It's not that high, but so kind of like from his laying down, it's not really that intimidating because he's not standing over you, but he does jab this shotgun at you, and he goes, no. It's too late for that. You should have had it drawn. Back up.
Denver will. I assume this is audible, like outside the wagon too.
I think he's kind of like rasping, like this part at least. The first part, though, you definitely heard.
Okay, so that first part is when it would have clicked with Denver. Like, I know that voice. Be like, at that point, just for harboring him, Denver would take a shot at this guy, this Swedish dude.
Oh, dude. Okay, go ahead. All right. So go ahead and
you're gonna get me killed
at Wilhelm.
I don't even need to know his name. It doesn't matter.
Wilhelm Ritterstedt.
That's gonna be a 15.
Okay, well that hits. He's essentially a commoner. So.
Damn straight. All right. Which will give him 12 damage.
Ooh. Yeah, so he goes down. And the wife, no, Wilhelm! And she goes and she runs over him and she's pawing over him. Darren, this is happening right in front of you. And of course, like a moment behind the mother, the children run over there and they're gonna basically fawn over this person.
Darren immediately speaks up and says, "What are you doing?" Assuming he didn't hear the ruckus with Tuco.
Yeah, and that makes sense. You're on the opposite end of the wagon, so with the horses and everything between you, it's totally feasible for you to have not heard any of that.
That's when Denver will go, makes sense in a minute. He'll tap the gun on the side of the wagon. Tuco, you two-time son of a bitch, get out of here.
And I'll lean real close into Tuco and say, "See, I brought my friends. You're fucked, Tuco."
Fast fingers. Is that you?
You goddamn right. We got unfinished business, you bastard.
Jeez, the prison system is not what it used to be.
I'll let you decide that from the inside, if you ever make it.
Oh, I have too much money to go to jail, my friend.
Yeah, my money.
Oh, no. Come on. And he jabs you with the shotgun again, though. Tito, and he's going to go, "Back up. You first, friend. Back up."
Yeah, he'll back out with his hands up, kind of so that Denver can see him too. Or
And
Darren, sorry.
gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So you're all the way out the back, and just to keep it clear, Denver, you're kind of like on the side of the wagon, like just off to the side of the back.
Side of the back, yeah.
And Darren, you're still at the front, but now you can see from your mounted position, because I don't think you ever said you got off your horse, so you're still on your horse in my head, and you can kind of see now Coyotito kind of backing up with his hands up. And meanwhile, Tuco is going to kind of not stand because he's inside the wagon, but he's going to kind of like sit himself up a bit and scoot, and he's essentially going to sit himself down, legs hanging from the back of the wagon, and he's holding the shotgun still pointed at Coyotito. He knows you are over there to the side, though, Denver. You already spoke to him, so it's not a secret.
Darren, at this point, he's got his weapon drawn and he's got cocked, aiming towards the general direction, hoping to get at least a pot shot on Tuco.
So you're going to take a shot at him?
Readying a shot, not
Wait.
take it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. You're readying an action. Okay, yeah, perfect. Right now, you know exactly where he is, because now you know somebody's in there. When a wagon has someone stand up in it, it rocks. And when he sits back down, you can tell that too. So you know someone's in there stepping around. You have your gun pointed in the general direction, but there's a canvas covering that's kind of stopping you from being able to see any details and being able to take any type of shot with any aiming. Meanwhile, Coyotito and Denver, you guys are towards the back. Coyotito, your hands are up, and Denver, you are kind of in a ambush sort of position, but he does know you're there.
Okay. Is this like a covered wagon where it's like pulled taut and then like tied to the side, and that's how it like stays covered?
Yeah, I kind of picture it like there's like the ribs that go from one side to the other that are like metal probably, and the cloth is stretched taut over that and tied down as best it can through like these like treated rings in the canvas, so they try not to tear and everything like that, and it kind of gets tied through and wrapped down, and it can be removed fairly easily with like a knife, but to untie it is a little bit harder.
That's exactly what Denver's going to do and be like, I think everyone deserves a fair shot at you, Tuco. And he'll run down the line with his dagger and just cut each rope so the canvas pops off to one side.
Okay.
That way Darren will have a clear sight.
Okay, so I think this takes a couple seconds, right? Like you have to go down, kind of put your knife through everything. So realizing what's going on, realizing he's outnumbered, Tuco is going to kind of take the shotgun, and he's going to take it in one hand. He's going to spread his arms out a little bit, jump off the back, and he's going to have his hands out. He's going, whoa, my friends. Come now, you didn't come out here after Tuco just to kill him. You want gold.
I mostly came to kill you.
His face changes.
Same here.
Wait. Guys, I mean, this son of a bitch, of course, deserves to die, but can't we at least find out what gold he's talking about? I mean, Tuco's gold.
I know Tuco's gold. Half of it's my gold.
Oh, it is not. It was a small job. This is real money. You have never heard of the job with me and Blondie? This has nothing to do with you, Fast Fingers. This is real money. I'm talking.
I got 2 years. 2 years of reparations you owe me.
200 gold pieces is what I'm talking here. Now, just to put that into frame of reference for you guys, when you guys did your character creation, you use either what it says in the book or a flat 500 gold. That's what the book says for 5e. But to put that in the context of the Wild West, you guys would be starting with $500, and gold would be the equivalent of platinum to gold pieces in 5e. So we're talking essentially, if he has all that he's claiming right here, about $20,000. If he even has half of what he's claiming here, it's $10,000. So this is quite a bit of money that he's claiming in this moment to have when he says 200 gold pieces.
Look, I think we should at least hear him out. He's an old man. He will die soon anyway.
What makes you think he's going to tell us the truth anyway?
I'm not that old.
Shut up. What makes you think he's going to tell us the truth anyway?
Darren
If you think he's lying,
thinks it
then
over
shoot
for a
him.
second.
All right, that's fair enough. Where's the gold?
Good point.
Oh, I'm not going to tell you, friends, but I'll take you to it. If I tell you, you just kill me now and then you leave. Tuco's not stupid.
That's debatable. We're going to kill you either way.
Well, then why should I tell you where the gold is?
Well, it's better we have it than you have it. Just admit it, you're stupid.
He frowns at you. He feels as though he's being talked into circles. Okay, friends, okay. Let's put all the cards on the table. You want to be rich. I already am. I don't want to die. You are intent on me dying. I will take you to my gold. And between now and then, I'm going to try to get away. Because you're offering me no other option. But if you get me there, I suppose you'll be rich and I'll be dead. How's that?
Don't care much about the rich, but as long as you're dead, I'll be fine with that. Now, I'll just need you to drop your shotgun there so we can make this a nice, easy ride.
Okay. He puts the shotgun down on the back of the wagon.
And Denver will point to it with his gun. That's fair game for either you two. I don't need it. And he'll move up and he'll quick whip this chain off of him. And he's going to wrap it around, like put Tuco's hands in front of him and wrap the chain around his wrists.
Okay. So he gets, yeah. Okay. So, we're going to say he's restrained at this point. You have restrained Tuco. Now, this wagon was being pulled by 2 horses. Right now, you essentially have the 3 of you and a restrained Tuco. So just let me know how you want to handle that, because he is going to take you somewhere.
I'm going to throw him up on a horse and then use one of those horses. Like I'll cut one free and leave the family the other one. And like put him up there and then tie that horse to my horse. So like wherever he goes, I'll go.
Sympathetic. You'll leave him a horse.
Well, I'll drop like 15 gold pieces at him too and be like, sorry, man, but he was harboring Tuco, and Tuco probably would have killed him in the end too.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me just...
Yeah, sorry, threw a lot out there.
No problem. Just got to roll. Okay. So...
Really getting into this game.
All right. So as you walk away and are putting Tuco up on that horse, you guys are all kind of out there, right? In the kind of field. I mean, there's really nowhere else to be. There's a wagon and there's where you guys are. This family is, the children are still crying. You hear a baby crying now from from underneath the seat. There is another child, a little 1-year-old, in a bassinet. And so these children are crying. Brigitte is crying. And I rolled randomly to see what happens here. And so Brigitte, suddenly you see her, you sons of bitches. And she reaches into her dead husband's jacket and comes out with a derringer. And she is going to fire at Coyotito. I don't know why Coyotito, that's the way the D4 went. Oh, okay. So she rolls a flat 17.
Yeah, I mean, that hits.
That should hit. and that's going to do a total of 2 damage.
What?
It's a d6 with no. She has no modifiers.
Oh man, I wish she would have slugged me.
She's a commoner. If she'd
Yeah,
have rolled,
all right.
at best she would have gotten a 6. That
Nice
would have
try, honey.
So
Oh, man.
I imagine it kind of like wings, just kind of like the outside of your arm. And you stand. So you turn around and she's standing there. It's pointed at you. She's shaking. She's just fired it. There's smoke coming from the muzzle.
I'll like look at the grazed bullet and like reach up, and then am I mounted at this point too?
You can be. It's completely up to you.
Yeah.
At this point, you guys were in the process of getting mounted, so you can tell me how in what state you are.
Yeah, I almost think like this is like her last act of desperation as we're leaving, and I'm usually bringing up the rear, and so she's like she fires at me, and I don't think I really want to shoot her, so I'm just gonna say, let's go, giddy up, and I hope everyone's mounted up so that we can just roll out of here, out of her range.
Denver will react to it. They'll just be like, Jesus Christ. Like, not expecting. He'll actually try to disarm her before he jumps his horse, because he can't have her shooting after them unless they ride away.
And as you take a step towards her, she's already in the process of kind of collapsing back to her knees and the gun kind of like dropping to the dirt. So like as you take like a half a step, you see it's not necessary.
I'll just pick up the Derringer then and be like, I'm just gonna take this with me, and I'm gonna leave this here, and he'll drop the pile of 15 coins. Again, I'm sorry, but
You're
Tuco
just
would've killed
going to
him
make her a target and a defenseless target. Leave her the pistol and take the gold.
Listen, all right, I know you ain't used to this kind of thing, but the bandits ain't gonna touch a woman. We got a code.
He's just gonna roll his eyes and start rolling out.
And she is inconsolable. She's just crying. Like basically whatever you leave her, she's gonna like when she gets out of this state, she'll pick it up and have to make do. But at this point, it makes no difference to her. She's just crying.
And as he rides away, Denver will look at him and look back at the woman and be like, I'm sorry. And he'll hop on his horse and just ride.
Okay, and so you guys are back on, and kind of next to you is this Tuco kind of bouncing around on this horse, and he's cursing you. Come on, cut my hands free. Killing me. It's hard to sit on this horse like this.
You complain all you want, Tuco. Those are the exact chains I was locked in for 2 years because of you.
Oh, I'm going to complain. Mi amigo. It's going to be a long trip.
I'll just keep holding on to that satisfaction. I get to put a bullet between your eyes when this is done.
You think so? And he just grins at you, just stupidly confident for a man wrapped in chains.
Keep your ass peeled, boys. We don't know what he's got waiting for us. Could be another shoemaker.
And similar to Tuco's previous adventures, he refuses to give you any names of places or anything like that. He insists on, being out in front and riding along because he's the one who knows where it is. And so the three of you find yourselves, oddly enough, trailing the man just feet behind the person who you've been chasing after for the better part of a month. And his flimsy hat kind of ruffled, and at one point it almost kind of flies off because he has no hands to put it back, and he kind of like reins himself up, like cocks his head the other way so the wind pushes the hat back on, and he sits back and kind of looks back at you grinning like did you guys see that? And he keeps riding along.
So he does that with the hat? Because his horse is pretty close to mine, right? I mean, it's tied.
I think so. I mean, if you want it to be, like, you could easily be the one holding the reins.
He'll look back, that cocky thing after his hat, and be like, That seems like that might be a little bit of a bother. Let me help you with that. He'll just grab the hat and throw it behind him and let the wind take it.
Tuco's face is incredulous. That is his favorite hat. You will regret that, my friend.
You know, it's plains weather, a little unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen.
I'll make sure my horse stomps on it if it lands in the trail.
Oh, you guys are mean. He's settlers. No good. You don't know this. It's no good without a hat. I don't understand why you do this.
I'll buy you a fresh hat to be buried in. How about that?
I'll take you up on that, only you won't be burying me, my friend. Ha ha ha! And he kind of like he kind of like goes to the end of the horse's rope, like literally, like he goes as far away from you as he can, but it's not far. And so that day passes, and you know it's one of these days. It's dry. The wind is kind of blowing, which kind of takes the moisture out of you even more quickly. And he seems to be leading you south towards those rocky cliffs that you had seen, towards the border of the territory. And the sun will in fact be setting, so it'll be setting now over your right shoulder. Right? Yeah. it'll be setting over your right shoulder as you head west. And you'll have to settle down again.
Wait, if we're headed west, it's right in front of us.
I'm sorry.
South.
You're heading south now.
Yeah.
You were heading east. Now you've turned south. The sun is over your right shoulder as it sets, and you will see, the signs of dusk on the plains as the sun changes, as the sky changes color at that moment in time, and birds kind of settle down for the evening, and people know to start getting themselves in before the coyotes and everything get out at night.
Dangerous as hell out here, but my God, there ain't no place beautiful on earth.
And
You
Tuco,
must be joking.
as you guys start talking, Tuco is snoring, by the way. He has fallen asleep in his saddle.
As we stop for campsite, I will. No, I'm not going to slap him to wake him up. I'm just going to push him off the side of the horse.
Oh, rough.
And then slide down with him. I'm off my horse and go over and pick him up. Hopefully he's awake by this point.
Okay, so he lands. Oh, that is not nice. Oh, and he kind of straightens himself out. You really took the wind out of him, and he starts to kind of like a snake, like trying to stand up almost. Like he's using his head with no arms because they're wrapped up to try to sit himself up. And he's all like he's filthy. You know what I mean? Like that whole side of his face, body, leg, everything is all covered in that like sooty, earthy dust when he hits the ground.
And I'll take a second to laugh at that before I pick him up. Be like, all right, let's find you a nice, comfortable place for tonight.
Yeah, so as you guys look around, what you'll notice is that the terrain is starting to edge towards the rockier territory. So as you're looking around, if you're looking for a good spot to stop, I think you have a couple of options. There's like wide open plains still. There are some large red sandstone rocks starting to appear. So there are a couple of those that you could set up next to. And there is even an occasional patch of scrub and tree out there. So just tell me what kind of area you guys might pick to settle down in.
Probably near the trees, so we have firewood.
Agreed. Yeah. Well, unless we want to go buy a rock for a little more cover.
It's true. Are there any rocks around that would be like overhangs?
Not so much overhangs. Like none of them are standing straight up. So like a few of them are leaning in such a way that it would kind of, like at like a 30-degree angle. So it kind of forms like a bit of a wedge there that you could kind of be under. but nothing that's like a cave or anything like that.
And what's the ground like? Is it like pretty hard, pretty soft?
It's so around here, it's like a surface layer of dust. Like when you step on it, it kind of kicks up a bit. But beneath that is hard ground, especially here now as you're getting into the rockier areas. The ground is quite hard. Maybe
Like,
around the
if I were to,
trees,
like,
less so.
stake a tent down, I don't have to worry about it getting blown up.
I don't think so. No, there's still topsoil.
In that case, I think the rock might be our best option. And then we can put tents
Yeah, I think so too.
on one side of it. But what I'll do first is pull one of those tent pythons out of my bag. And I'm going to undo a little bit of Tuco's chain and just hammer a chain into the ground, like through one of the rungs, so that he's stuck there, like tying up a horse.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so he's chained down, and you guys are going to try setting up camp.
Yep.
Okay. So as you guys are kind of approaching what could be your campsite for the night, and you're kind of unpackaging some of your quick-to-get nighttime gear, can you guys all roll me individual perception checks? Coyotito is not having the luck tonight. So Darren and Denver, you both notice it first and take a instinctive jump back. But Coyotito, you are lost a bit in thought and not paying quite as much attention as you should. And so you only hear once it's actually moved a foot or so closer to you. And what draws your attention to it is the telltale as the rattlesnake indicates its irritation at your proximity.
So where is it? And like the two of us that see it.
So I imagine you guys kind of had approached the rock. You and Darren noticed it slither, and it was like between you guys and Coyotito. So you guys jump back. So it is in front of you, and Coyotito is in front of you, and the rattlesnake is now about 3 feet off to Coyotito's right.
What would a quick draw roll be?
I'm sorry?
What would a quick draw roll be?
Okay, so that's a good question. There are some rules.
I hope to God you say sleight of hand.
I mean, I think it would be sleight of hand dexterity.
Like it's in like you're trying to like pistol out of holster and fire kind of thing.
Yeah, like you know. I mean, fuck, it's a Western. I want to do that.
I almost say be straight up dex. The sleight of hand's more like you're trying to do it without being seen.
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm thinking about it, and I mean, dex is obviously the only thing that is obviously has to be involved.
Yeah, I think
sleight of hand. It's kind of one of those things.
Hand.
You know what I'll do? Here's what I'll do. Okay, so as you notice it, your hand shoots to your holster. That's your gut instinct. That's your character's gut instinct. But that triggers the instinct of the rattlesnake. And the rattlesnake is going to pull back its head and go to strike you. Now, I'm going to treat this as if it were one of these moves that requires a save. So we're going to say that the rattlesnake is going to hit you because rattlesnakes don't really miss. So it's going to hit. It's going to take a dexterity save on your part. And we'll just let you decide what that save takes the shape of, if you pull your gun out and shoot it or move your leg or however it is that you handle it.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Now, if you make the save but decide that you're going to shoot it, though, I'm going to actually require you to make an attack. because you could easily miss a rattlesnake.
Yeah.
So yeah, this rattlesnake is going to go for you. Roll me a dexterity save.
Okay. I'm gonna roll dex save. Oh, whoops. 21.
Wow, excellent. Okay, so yeah, you are able to, before the rattlesnake gets you, you unholster your gun, pull back the hammer, and fire. So roll your attack and let's see if it hits.
Nice. Oh man. 10.
10. So it misses. Which means the rattlesnake is going to bite you. Okay, so this is going to deal. Okay, so that's going to be 4 piercing damage, and also an instant 4 necrotic. We're going to call it necrotic, but it's poison, venom. Now, Darren and Denver, roll me a initiative to see which one of you guys goes first or gets to act first in this moment here.
Coyotito's just screaming.
Yeah, you did. Well, right now it like just had this snake. Like you pulled the gun, snake bit you. Okay, so Denver, all this happens. You're quick to respond. What do you do?
Kind of look and see as I hear the rattle, and then like it's almost slow motion hearing the gun cock, and like Denver knows that if you want to eat these, you can't shoot it. That's gonna blow up the meat, and he's gonna hear the snap, the miss, the bite, and the scream all in slow motion. Be like, shit. All right. He pulls out his dagger, and he's gonna like almost like when you try and stick it in the ground as you throw it. He's gonna throw it at the snake's head.
Okay, so roll me a ranged attack on that.
15.
15 hits. The AC on this rattlesnake was 14.
Wow.
So you poof. I'm sorry, not poof. Slides right through, just like a what's it called? Crocodile Dundee. The knife flies out through the rattlesnake's head, and the rattlesnake drops. Coyotito is screaming. Darren, you're next to respond. How do you act in this?
Darren, really much he can do in this situation. So to Coyotito and sees about the bite.
Okay. Yeah, everything's going to open up now. You guys can kind of act as you like. Coyotito, you have Darren kind of coming over to you. He's grabbing at your leg, trying to inspect the bite. And Denver, you've just decapitated the offending rattlesnake.
Denver will walk up, and I assume Coyote is probably still screaming. I don't know if he's ever been bit by a rattlesnake before.
He probably hasn't, but he probably knows people who have.
I was going to say.
Maybe people who have died from it.
Yeah, he's here with all of his limbs, so chances are he has never been bit by a rattlesnake before.
Yeah, do they know to suck out the poison?
That's what I was going to say.
Well, that's what I'm going to ask. Darren's there looking at the wound, and Coyotito is, of course, in this moment. So do either of you have any medicine skills?
Nope.
None.
We probably don't know to suck the poison out, guys.
Well, so what this is going to be so this, I'm going to let you guys know what I'm doing here. This is, I guess, a little bit of homebrew. I play a lot of Savage Worlds where there's the concept of common sense and common knowledge, and I think every game should have something like that. So when nobody has a specific skill like medicine, but you live in the West where people get bit by rattlesnakes all the time, I feel like there's a certain amount of common knowledge that could be there. So what I'll have everyone do is roll intelligence saves and just see if anyone's standard intelligence is just high enough to know the common knowledge of sucking out the rattlesnake's venom.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna try and work in, is that Denver traveling around might have known that, but I like doing that. I like rolling for the intelligence to see if you know it.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. So Denver might, and the roll actually tells us. Okay, so Coyotito, I think actually that's a very low roll, but I actually think Coyotito might know this. But after having been bit by it, he's just not in a state of
freaking
mind
out.
to know that.
What do I do? Help! It hurts. What do I do? Ah!
And meanwhile, I think Darren doesn't know to suck out the poison because in the crews that he's ran with, you generally just cut whatever's been bit off. If it's a hand, you cut it off. If it's a foot, you bit it.
Don't cut it off. Don't cut it off. Don't cut it off.
So I think Darren is probably, I don't know if he does anything about it, but he probably thinks, oh, well, it's a foot. We could cut that off. And meanwhile, though, Fast Fingers, you've been around the block. You've seen them suck out the poison and have the person still die. You've seen that happen too. But you know that that's the best hope. That's what people do.
Yeah, so Denver will walk over. He's probably a few feet away from where Coyotito and Darren are now. He'll walk by, pick up the knife with the snake on the end of it. He'll slide the snake up as he's walking, put his knife away. He'll walk over, hand the snake to Coyotito and be like, hold this. And he'll get down, pick the leg out, and look at the Coyotito and be like, what happens here stays between us, and you owe me. And start sucking the poison out of the wound. And then spitting it to the side.
Okay, so I've been thinking about how I was going to do this for a while, and I came up with how I was going to do this the other night. So this is what I'd like to do. You don't have to roll to suck out poison, because I think you're not going to miss the wound with your mouth. That would be a hard attack to miss. So we're just going to say that you are sucking out the poison as best you can. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Coyotito roll a Constitution save. And what's going to happen is for every time he fails to beat the Constitution threshold of a fairly high 17, I'm going to roll a d6, and he's going to lose that much in necrotic damage. Now, do you have any bonuses to Constitution saves?
I mean, I have a Constitution score of 12, so I have +1.
Oh, not good. Okay.
This is going to be a week.
This whole campaign ends because you die.
Constitution's one of those stats, right? Some people put it in there and they get themselves a +3 save or whatever, and sometimes you don't. And so the reason why I did this, I'm gonna again share, because I like to do this with my channel a little bit. If I'm doing something a little bit homebrew, I like to share with people why I did that. In a Western, I realized a lot of people are gonna pick Ranger, right? Because it's the obvious stat block for what it is that you're doing. You're not swinging broadswords or anything like that. So barbarians, I felt and fighters would be kind of edged out. I'm okay with barbarians being edged out, but I wanted fighters to be relevant. So I thought stats like Constitution and Strength and Climbing and things like that should come into effect during the course of the game. This is one of those times where Constitution is an important stat. Okay, so roll us a Constitution save.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah, what'd you get?
17.
Unbelievable. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm mean, I am going to give you just one last necrotic poison damage, because I feel like you're still a little bit woozy and weak from this happening, but you are safe now. You are no longer infected by the venom, so that's not bad. So that's a 3. So it's an extra 3 necrotic that you take. You're a little bit, probably in a little bit of shock tonight, but you've seen people die of these things, and they start throwing up, they start retching, and you're not having those feelings. So you're feeling like maybe you're not going to die tonight.
Nice. He just curls up and tries to go to bed and is extremely silent for the whole night. Not his usual, like, talkative, kind of like jovial self.
Excellent. I'm going to give a little bit of a role play moment here and let you guys. So, we know what Coyotito's doing. The rest of you guys, I imagine, have your tent set up. And just to set the scene, the horses are staked to one side of your campsite. And I imagine Tuco is still staked to the other side of your campsite.
Oh, no, I would have set my tent up next to where he's staked. Not far enough that he could get into my tent, but close enough where I could hear if he tried to get out.
Gotcha.
And with that, he would have, to get the awful taste of Coyotito mixed with venom out of his mouth, he would light up his pipe and pack it and just sit next to the fire and smoke his pipe.
Aaron sits across the fire from Denver and tries to strike up a bit of conversation with him. You said back when we first started this that you used to run with Tuco.
Wondering why that might come up there.
Tell me a bit about that.
Well, as long as it doesn't come back to bite me. I don't think I didn't notice that star in your chest there. I'm pretty well known up and down the Rio Grande. Robbed quite a few caravans, quite a few people. Well, robbing this covered wagon one day, heading up to the territories, and lo and behold, who else is robbing it but Tuco himself? So we finish the job together. It's all fun. He tells me about this big score he's got, big train heading back east, full of gold for the Federal Reserve.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll jump on that. I'll take anything. Notoriety, gold. I was itching for that. So I get myself all set up. We go over the plan a few months down, and comes the day to do it. We got that whole train. Every guard was dead, every soldier gone, and we're loading all this crap up into the cars. Well, Tuco tells me to go check the last car there, see if there's anybody or anything left that we should pick up. Tuco's smart, so I listen. Shouldn't have done that. Last thing I ever saw was that bastard detaching that car. And last thing I saw was him smiling at me as that train rounded the bend and 4 marshals rode up into my car and took me.
Yes, that explains well enough.
No, I'm not just going to kill him. I'm going to make him suffer. That
Justice has its dues.
That chain around his wrist. So I've been locked up in since that day. 2 years. I couldn't think of anybody to use that chain on other than him.
You hear from the dark, 2 years! Should have been 8. What is going on in this country? They let train robbers out?
Is he close? How close was he to the fire? I don't know if we actually...
I kind of imagine that he's at most 20 feet away.
Okay. Is he seeable though in the firelight? I don't know how dark it is.
Well, actually, I think so. With firelight, it's generally actually even harder to see things that are behind it because you're looking into the fire and it's all light, and if you turn around, it's dark and it's harder to see. So it's not very easy to see, but you can see an amalgamation of shadow where you staked him, so you can see his form.
Okay. In that case, I'll kind of lean back and be like, "Shut up, you bastard! I don't care if it was 8 years, 10 years. I would have waited all of it to kill you. But who cares who they let out? They let you over the border. They'll let anybody in here."
Nobody lets me anywhere. I go where I want. I am Tuco.
I'll tell you, nobody wants it anywhere either.
Don't care if anybody wants me. They will have me because I have gold. Everybody wants gold. So you walk into a restaurant, they serve you because you pay them. I buy respect.
Well, real man will earn it.
Or steal it like you.
Oh man, I may be a stealer, maybe a thief. Fast Fingers earned every bit of respect he got.
And I think you hear the chains kind of rustling around as Tuco is kind of grumbling and mumbling, trying to get comfortable on the raw earth.
If you need a pillow, plenty of rocks around. Let me know.
I'll give you one of those rock pillows. Right to your head.
You can't even throw it this far. Go to sleep, you bastard.
And he's kind of grumbling, and you kind of get the impression that that's exactly what he's doing.
You two should get some sleep too. I'll take first watch again.
Nods
Yeah,
his head,
Koyo's probably already asleep.
lays over.
So, I don't know how you guys handle this. Do you let Coyotito sleep this night away, and the other two maybe share the watch, or do you rouse Coyotito for his usual watch?
I want to say I'd let him sleep, but I would rouse him to A, he has to pull his weight, and B, to make sure he didn't die in his sleep.
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
Mostly because I'm tired and I want to sleep.
Yeah, I'll take my watch, try to just grit, and I'll give him a heartfelt thank you for saving my life.
In the middle of that thank you, he'll hold his hand up and be like, yep. We all speak of it. It happened. You're alive. That's all that matters.
Thanks.
And he'll just walk back to his tent.
Okay. So, in that case, then, sorry, I'm looking for the condition. I don't know why. I need to rearrange my cheat sheets here. Looking for the first level of exhaustion. There we go. Disadvantage on ability checks. Okay. So because you rose him, Coyotito, you were going to have one level of exhaustion. If they had not risen you, then they would have both had one level of exhaustion, but you would not have. You needed time to recover, and you didn't quite get it. But that's life out on the range, right?
Yeah, it's hard out here.
So yeah, so you have disadvantage on ability checks. That's not attacks, though, I don't believe. Let me just double check that real quick. I'm pretty sure it's not.
I believe, yeah, that's level 2 exhaustion where you start.
No, that's 3, actually.
Oh,
level,
3.
Level 2 is speed halved if you're walking.
Okay.
So yeah, so you're good. It's just going to be ability checks, not even saves. Okay, cool. So yeah, so then I imagine, Coyotito, you would be the last to be to be roused from your sleep.
Who knows? Maybe I am.
I heard a snake bite. I would be the last one to be around too.
Maybe both. I don't know. But Coyotito, you're last to be roused, and the rest of you then are sleeping at this point. So you see the sun rise in the morning. And you hear the grumblings of Tuco as he gets up in the morning and says, "Hey, you got any coffee for me, my snakebite friend?"
Well, Tuco, I guess you can get a little bit of coffee, and I'll actually try to show him some hospitality, and maybe even give him some tortillas with his coffee.
Oh. Nice. So as you bring him those things, he looks at you and he says, "Hey, my friend, 200 gold goes a lot farther split 2 ways than it does 4 or 3.
Tuco or Coyotito will look at Tuco, look back at his companions. Are they sleeping?
Yeah, they are. I think they are. I don't see why they wouldn't be. They had taken their shifts at watch earlier in the evening.
Yeah. I imagine I needed coffee just to make it through my watch. So
yeah, I kind of picture this as being like halfway through your watch. So like if you guys get up at like say 4:30 in the morning, it's like almost 3 o'clock in the morning now. So the sun is almost starting to peak up. The sky's a little bit brighter than it was before, but it's not quite full light.
Okay, so I'll crouch down at Tuco, look him straight in the eyes, and I'll say, if you tell me where your gold's hidden right now, I'll consider it.
He looks at you, he gets real serious and he goes, "You remind me a lot of myself, my friend. You want me to tell you up front? I remember saying that to somebody. I said to him, I said, I am your only friend in the world, Blondie. You're going to die. Just tell me where it is." I would have killed him. If he'd have told me, I'd have killed him. Just like you killed me. No, no, my friend. Just pull the stake up. You go, we put one in one of your friends, one in the other. Get on the horses, we ride. I take you to the gold, no problems.
He'll spit on the ground and he'll say, no, I cannot kill them. He saved my life.
Oh, why you want me to help you, my friend? Oh, come on. I told them I would take them to the gold. And he starts shouting like really loud. Like really loudly. And so Darren and Denver, you're going to be woken a little bit early. It's like 3 a.m. You should be sleeping for another hour or so. And you hear Tuco shouting.
Coyotito is not going to try to silence him, and he's going to just kind of stand up and look at them, like expecting them to know exactly what's going on.
The hell are you telling this boy, Tuco?
I'm not telling him anything. I'm sitting here trying to eat breakfast, and he says he wants to split the gold 2 ways. I am an honest man.
Well, you need to honestly shit your butt down. I'm going to shove my foot so far up your ass, you're going to have to clear your throat before you fart.
No hospitality on the plains. No hospitality. I hope you find another rattlesnake, and I hope he bites your butt.
I will kick the coffee cup out of Tuco's hands and then go back to sit by the fire.
Yeah, which he was already grasping tenuously, like he has his hands chained and he was like holding the coffee cup like with like 2 of his fingers and like leaning towards it and like sipping it back. And you like kick it out of his fingers like he was a place kicker, and it just like and the coffee goes flying. Oh, son of a bitch! No honor among thieves. No honor among thieves.
You need to learn some manners, friend.
And get some dust in his mouth too in the process.
It reminds me, you're probably hungry.
And like as you say that, you see like he's kind of chewing on the last little bit of like a tortilla that Coyotito must have given him.
Don't worry, I fed the dog.
Well, then, I guess this could just be dessert. And he'll hold up the skinned rattlesnake and just drop it.
And yeah, so it is early. If you are up now, like you theoretically could like get ready, like you could cook the rattlesnake or something like that, or do whatever it is you want to do before leaving, or you could try to go back to sleep.
Nope, I'm just giving him the raw rattlesnake, but then I'll start getting my stuff ready.
Okay. Yeah, so I imagine Darren may not have even woken up, but right now the campfire is kind of coming to life. Tuco hasn't really stopped talking. You have started to load up your gear, Coyotito. You were cooking before. I don't know what you're doing right at this moment, but probably taking the can that you kicked out of his hands, I imagine, back to the campsite.
Yeah, everything is just taking me a lot longer, and I'm definitely limping on the foot or on the ankle where the snake bit me.
Nice.
Darren knows up and he's about getting stretched, getting his stuff together.
A bit long in the tooth. Darren kind of takes a little bit longer. He stretches out a little bit more. He flexes his back and shoulders a little bit more. Riding takes a little bit more out of him each day. But he's up. He's getting himself ready. And so, yeah, you guys pack up your campsite and get back on your horses and load Tuco, who, again, has not stopped talking, onto his horse. And you begin to travel south again. It's nice in these early hours. It's cool. The heat isn't so oppressive. And you tend to make better time at this hour. And it's actually only around noon. The sun's coming really directly overhead. Heat's getting a little bit bad as Tuco. So who has? So what's everyone's passive? I know Denver's is quite low. Oh yeah, actually. Oh yeah, actually, does that time. Actually, you know what? Before we get into this, everybody, let's take ourselves a 10-minute break. Come back at 10:15, and everyone can use the restroom, get some drinks, and we'll meet back here.
Thanks. This is a
Yeah.
really fun game. It's great.
No, I should have said that, actually. I meant to do that at 10, and I lost track.
You're nailing Tuco. That's great.
I was trying to. I've been watching little bits on YouTube for the past couple days trying to
really
catch
good. It's really good.
it. Thanks. All right, I'm actually going to grab a can of Pepsi, and I will be right back. Hey, man.
Huh.
Not much. How's it going? Having fun?
I have a lot of fun.
Yeah, this one is cool, and I got all excited. I found somebody did a hack for Genesis called Edge of the Frontier. It's a Western hack for it, and I think I'm gonna try to run like almost this exact same campaign, little one-shot thing using that in a few weeks. I'm excited.
I've never actually played in the Western one.
I think, yeah, I think this is the first time I'm running one, and would be the first time I'm played in one. But I love Westerns, so I think I'm gonna do it more often.
I was set to play in the Providence one months ago, but I couldn't do it. So now I'm playing again with Tyler in the Providence one in like a few weeks.
Yeah, me too. I'm playing in Providence one too, called Wendigo.
Are we playing in the same one?
Are we? I think we might be.
Are we?
Probably. I'm playing like a cat person version of Clint Eastwood's character. Yeah, the good, bad, and the ugly.
I have what am I playing? Oh, half elf. Essentially the same kind of thing, but more like sleight of hand, a little bit of magic and stuff. Sleight of hand.
Gotcha.
Half elf rogue. Learned his stuff from the equivalent of what are the Native Americans in that world.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, this was fun. Everything was good. I kind of wanted, when you have these random things, you kind of hope like everybody gets one. It didn't quite shake out that way. Coyotito got both shot by her and bit by the snake. So I was like, oh man, just nailing this guy with this. But there's nothing I can do. The dice roll. The dice speak.
And a con save, that's brutal. I can't believe he made it.
I have it right here. I don't know if you can see it. There was 4 of you guys that she could have shot at. So I rolled a d4. And
she could have shot too, though. That's funny.
Yeah, no, I mean, because you needed him, right, to get the gold. So that could be interesting if he got shot too. Like any of those would be interesting concepts. I was expecting a little more than 2 damage to be honest.
Then we'd have to save him to get the gold. That would suck.
Right, exactly. Or not. You guys took an interesting approach. Most of you want him more dead than to get the gold, which is funny. So I don't know how this will all shake out. But
yeah.
I was expecting
gold, just put a bullet in him. Don't even let him talk. Gold, got it.
I was expecting to be able to like play you guys off each other a little bit more, but like 2/3 of you are like, I just want you dead. Hey, what's going on, Philip?
Hey, sorry guys, the dogs were not pooping like they should.
I think you're back right on time. Jack, are you back? Maybe not quite.
No.
Yeah, let's Oh, he's back. Yeah, okay. He says 1 sec. We'll give him 1 second. And cool. Yeah, like I was saying, I was when you put these random things in, hey Jack. So Philip, sorry for getting you with both the shot and the snake. But
oh no, man, it's great. Like the snake bite, that was a great encounter. Both of them were good encounters. Good job. I really enjoyed it. I'm enjoying it.
I didn't the Derringer thing. He shot him, and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, all right. That's how that went."
That was crazy.
Like I thought for a second, like, should I make him roll to see if he gets the surprise? And I'm like, no, because I'm surprised. Like so, like yeah, surprising. There you go.
Surprise.
All right. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna kick this off. You guys are kind of off again, sort of into the sun. Rises in the east, sets in the west, and all that. But it's always kind of to a southerly direction. So you guys have been traveling that way all morning, and now just as it's sort of centered right above you, your guys' passive perception is a little on the weak side. So it's only really now that I think most of you start to notice that Tuco's been looking around sort of a lot. And you guys are sort of riding into an area where the sandstones have started to emerge from the topsoil, and you're starting to see those sort of picturesque scenarios where it's like this layered rock that's been eaten away and has like holes and arches and things like that. And you're starting into like this sort of area, into those red rocks that you were able to see off in the distance before to the south. And what those really are, just the land is sort of wavy lines of old mountain ranges and rocks left behind. So in this wavy line, you get lots of these valleys and sort of cliffs. And that's kind of what those red rocks are. It's that line that sort of represents the higher rock from the lower. So you're sort of riding into this alley of sandstone. And Tuco seems a bit edgy.
You look a little jumpy there, bud.
This is land for banditos, you know?
I'm aware.
Yeah, well, banditos kill prisoners of prisoners just as fast as they kill regular prisoners. So I imagine.
You brought us this way.
That's because this is where the gold is. You don't put your gold somewhere easy to get to, do you, friend?
I don't have any gold. You got it.
That's a good point. So what would you know about hiding it?
I'll let you know once I get it back.
That you will. He looks around.
I'll look back at the Denver. I'll look back at the other two and be like, oh, "You're right. Better safe than sorry. Keep your ass peeled."
Right.
Darren, ready to draw anytime. This don't feel right.
So you guys tell me if in any way this description is wrong. Just tell me what you do that differs from this. You guys are kind of bunched together, moving your way through these sandstone pillars, all looking out, very aware of the precariousness of the situation, sort of hands on hilts, other hand on the reins, nervous glances.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone, roll me a perception check. Okay. So
we're all staring intently at Tuco. We're all watching him.
Well, I think you're all watching out, but these perception checks were not fantastic, and I don't think that's okay, because I mean you're looking up, right? There's this starting to be these sheer walls out to the sides as you reach that red line of cliffs, and it's hard to see up and above the top. Picture kind of like in my head, I'm picturing Star Wars. Back on Tatooine, looking up. And the sand people are like appear up above from the rocks. You don't see them before that, and so you guys are kind of looking up, and you're really not seeing anything. But every second that goes by that you don't see something, you get even more nervous that there's something there, and so you have to continue, and you do. And as you travel into these kind of alleys of sandstone, eventually you do hear as a decent bit of rock is broken off from the top and rolls down the sides of the cliffs, bringing your eyes up, and you swear that you see something. Who is it? Darren is sure that he saw something up there.
Darren's out to the group. isn't too sure what it is.
Coyotito will squint and bring his hand over to his brow, but I don't think that he's got any better vantage point than Denver or Darren.
And Tuco turns and says, "Hey, we have to get through these caverns, out the other side. We don't want to get stuck in any of the dead ends. We have to move quick. The banditos will find us for sure. They will not let us go. You could be two guys with two shoes between you, and by the time the banditos got done, you'd be two corpses and one bandito with a new pair of shoes."
Well, what do you suggest then?
Darren,
We have to go carefully through here. I think I remember the
Darren
right way.
stifles.
Oh, sorry. No, he starts saying that, but then Darren goes to jump in and he stops. Oh, gotcha. So he then goes, but oh shoot. Okay. Sorry, give me like 5 minutes. So Jordan's having a bit of an emergency at home. He's got to drop off. I'm just going to pull up his character sheet for a second, and I just need to write like 1 or 2 things down so I can play that. It'll just take me like 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, yeah, let me just pull this up. Luckily, he sent me that a few days ago. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, I'm all set. Yeah, I hope so. I'll check in with him a little bit later. Make sure he's all right. Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah. So then, I imagine Denver would say, "It means we got to move, but we have to move fast. We don't want to get lost, though. Tuco, you were just gonna wander through here and hope you found the right way, weren't you?" And Tuco goes, "Me? I come through here all the time. No, no, I know the right way. We just go right up here and move real quick. Stay right. We'll get out of these caverns. It's no problem, I promise." And I think they would both, they would kind of look to you guys.
Tuco, you don't know where? You buried your gold? You fool?
Well, it's not in the caverns. It's outside the caverns. We just got to get through them. It's roughly, you got to go south. You can go the right way. That's all.
How do we know you're not
Says,
just...
I don't trust this.
Okay.
Well, what do you think we
back
should
down.
do, Sheriff? He'll kind of like, be saying it facetiously, knowing that you're not.
Darren get that hit. But he regains his composure and says, I don't think we should trust this. He's going to try to as fast as he can. And that cavern's an easy way of going.
What choice do we have if we want to get his gold?
Maybe we should. All right. Dog like him, I don't trust him.
Oh, you don't need to trust me. But you're going to follow me. And he just kind of uses his heels and kind of moves his horse around. And he kind of nudges the horse forward. And so you guys kind of start to move, I think, a little bit quicker than you were before. And every so often you do hear the occasional rock kind of skitter down from the ledge of the cliffs. And it takes about an hour or two. But as the sun starts to move towards the right, you do actually see the path out of the caverns up ahead. And Tuco turns and says, "See? I told you I'd get us out of here. It's no problem from here. I'll even give you a clue. It's the money is at a little farmstead right outside of a town named after a lady." But that's it. That's all you get from me.
Do any of us know the local geography?
You would definitely know some towns. Yeah, I mean, I would think so. You've all been riding all over here. Although I think you would also know that in this area, like places named after ladies' names is pretty common.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't probably be able to narrow it down.
Okay. Great hint. Thanks.
I just want you to know that I'm serious.
It's also buried underneath the blue sky.
But see, I've gotten us out of here.
And you're a lucky man for doing that.
Darren Skriddle. I'll give you that much, Tuco. And kind of gaze his horse.
And Denver says, "Yeah, and it's going to keep you alive for now. Let's go." And he kind of tugs on Tuco's horse, and Tuco kind of like jerks back a little bit. Ugh. And you guys kind of start to ride. It's sort of like the cliffs are coming down a little bit, but the ground you're on is sort of rising up a little bit. So you're kind of heading towards that false horizon. And it's fairly shadowed around you now because the sun has passed to the west. So that false horizon is kind of like, it's like oddly shadowed here, but as you ride up, you know you'll be catching the ends of the day. And right as you guys kind of reach that point, you hear, "Not so fast, strangers." And if you turn, you can now see one of these people that must have been on the cliff, a man standing with a rifle sort of like wedged through his arms and like resting on the back of his shoulder. And he's like on the ridge line. So like imagine, so you guys met this false horizon. He's like back a bit on your right. So like you have to crane your neck to the right. And then you see him, which meant he would have been above you before. What do you guys do?
Darren Tuco and glances back up and says, "I knew it." Then looks towards Coyotito. So now, these are your folks, right? You do the talking.
Coyotito will nod and call out, "What is it we can do for you, my friend?"
My name is Salamanca of the border. We are simple men. We need simple things. You seem to have many simple things. We're going to take those things. And he,
Who is we?
that's perfect. And he kind of snaps his fingers, and off to, like, behind him steps a man, and then off to your left step three men. And each of them are armed in some way, revolvers or rifles and things like that. And he says, "These are my men, and this is we. Perhaps you've heard of us. As I said, my name is Salamanca. This is Eli." And he points to the man behind him. And these guys are like a good 100 feet away from you. So they're kind of more, you're seeing more shapes. The guys who stepped out to the left were behind a few of these like sandstone archways, and they are a little bit closer. They're like 50 feet away. Them you can see a little bit better. And he says, "And over there, you can see my friends, Senor Clint and Senor Van Cleef. And my cousin, Jose." And you see this kind of like the shorter guy, and then there's these two. One guy has like sandy blonde hair, and the other guy has this kind of darker curly hair. Yeah, these guys are clearly bandits. Like, these are your typical bandits for this area.
I will tell you what. If you... Oh, wait. Do I know how long about until we get to Tuco's gold?
You don't necessarily, because he hasn't really told you.
Mm-hmm. And there are... How many of them total is that?
There are 5.
5 total?
Mm-hmm. There are technically 3 of you. I mean, there's Tuco, but he's tied up, so, I mean, he's no guns.
Yeah. And we're, like, in this valley. How close are the rocks?
So you're kind of out of the valley now. Like, you've kind of emerged from it. So, like, behind you would be back into the caverns.
Yeah.
Ahead of you is sort of out into, like, this more barren area than you were before. Like, a little bit more deserty, a little bit less scrub.
Yeah.
And you are roughly familiar with this area. You know that there are towns not too far to the south. So it looks very barren, but there are actually places in that direction from where you are now. And then, so the guy who was talking to you is behind you and to your right. At about your level now. Okay. About 100 feet. And the guys over to your left are 50 feet from you. But there's a couple of these sandstone pillars and arches and things like that between you and them. And you see them when they come out from behind them, and then you don't see them as they walk closer to you. Okay. More columns and so on.
Right. And so that's 3 and 1. Oh, there are 2 guys behind us?
Yeah, there's 2. So there's the guy
Salamanca. Are any of them on horses?
None of them appear to be on horses right now.
Let's just fucking roll out. These guys cannot stop us.
I mean, at least Salamanca and one of those 3, you know for a fact, have rifles. And you don't know how well they shoot, but they can shoot at you.
Yeah. Okay. So, and does it look like to our left through those like sandstone cliffs? Could we like go through them? Or like in the arches and stuff?
I mean, you could. You'd be heading towards those other 3.
Yeah.
but they're rideable. Like, people in this area, like you can ride through. It's a little bit more treacherous.
Yeah.
And there might be like if you ride through there for a long period of time, there might be like an animal handling check to make sure your horse doesn't get injured. But it is rideable.
Okay. All right, cool. That's like that. Man, you painted a great picture. Thank you. Okay, so what? You're just going to leave us horseless out here in the middle of the desert?
I have a feeling, men of your caliber, you might make it.
I want to like turn my horse around to like try to face him.
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem. So you kind of like you pull on the reins and your horse kind of moves, and like I said, it's a nice looking horse. And as you do, he kind of goes, "That one must be worth a few gold."
It is worth quite a few gold. And I will pull out my gun, cock it, and point it at the horse's head.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And I'll be like, listen here. If you move in on any of us, I will shoot this horse right now so that you cannot use it. But if you come and take this horse, I will let you take it. Just let me, and you can also take all the gold we have. Just let me and my friends go on the two remaining horses. 3 remaining horses. I'm bad at math. And can I use persuasion?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so let me just say, when you first pull the gun out, Salamanca
Sorry, that was
shoulders his rifle. Again, he's going to point it at you, and the guy behind him pulls a revolver of some type, but probably way too far to do anything with that, and he kind of doesn't even really point it. He kind of just like pulls it out like out of reaction. And the other 3 guys, you can't see all of them because of the sandstone pillars, but you can see one guy at least on his knee, on like one knee with the rifle, like pointed kind of stance. The other 2 guys, you're not quite sure. And I just want to give Darren's character a chance, and we're gonna see what Tuco and Denver would do. So Darren, you have your partner here threatening to off his horse.
Sorry.
Darren. All right, you're holding a horse hostage.
It's a very beautiful horse.
Darren cocks his head to the side and just nods. Not quite sure what to do, but take a perception check to see if there's anything particular about the surroundings.
Yeah, definitely.
You did a good job of describing it earlier.
No, that's fine. That's perfect, because there's a few things that you might notice with a particularly good perception check.
12.
Okay, so it's not great, but what you do pick up something extra. One of those 3 guys that were off to the left, you can see has a revolver out, and kind of has his back to a sandstone pillar. So like you're aware of where he is, and you're also aware that he's not packing a rifle. So a little bit of extra info there for you. Yeah, and give me that persuasion check.
Nat 20.
Nice. So then, yeah. So Salamanca is going to say, first, like I said, he pulls the rifle, and he's like, it seems like he's going to be really aggressive. And he's just like, this is reasonable. I would usually say I'm going to take at least 2 of your horses, but this is a particularly fine horse.
She is well fed and well watered, or he.
It's up to you. I mean, I'd say she because you said
Yeah.
she. So let's go. And he kind of makes this sign towards like the other guys on the other side that you imagine at least one of them is watching for his signal. He kind of goes like this, and at the same time he like then changes hands of his rifle and puts his hand out and says, "Don't shoot them. Let them take the horse like you said, and there will be no problems."
And I look over at Denver and Darren to make sure I get their like agreement.
I think Denver is kind of looking around, edgy, but I mean, this is honestly, as in terms of getting away with things, this is a pretty great deal. So I think even he would know, like, yeah, I'm not giving up a horse, so okay.
Yeah.
Denver
Great.
would nod.
Great. I'll
Darren just nods his fling a laugh the best he can.
Coyotito will dismount and hand over the reins to one of the approaching guys and be very cautious as he tries to climb on the back of Darren's horse.
Okay. Okay, so you're climbing on Darren's horse.
If he'll allow me.
Or
Tuco's, I guess. Actually, that's probably never mind. Tuco's horse is the logical thing.
So I kind of imagine you almost kind of force Tuco to I don't know. Do you remember in The Good, Bad, and the Ugly in the beginning when Blondie is pretending to take him in and he's cursing and spitting and he's laying over the back of the horse?
That's right, exactly.
So I kind of imagine you're pissed that he got you into this, so you kind of grab him and push him over the horse that way and take his spot.
Yeah.
And he starts starts lacing into you, just you can do this. You offered your horse, now I got to ride like a pig. This is unbelievable. It is unacceptable.
You have nothing. None of these are your belongings. We're just probably arguing back and forth. Chip, 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 chip.
And Salamanca goes, "Who is this? What is his name? He is funny. He talks a lot."
Oh man. I gotta think of a quick lie. And so I'll just.
And Darren, you can hop in here too if you have a name for him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. I did that. That's what he told us.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say his name was?
Deception check. Taco.
Yeah. Taco. Okay. Okay, you apparently. Okay, yeah, give me a deception check.
Okay.
Changes one letter. That's awesome. Okay. He goes, "Oh, yeah, okay. I think I saw a wanted sign for him. Yeah, I would take him from you, but I don't like to get that close to the law. So you're welcome with your bounty. You take him wherever you like."
This dog can't be worth more than $100 anyway.
Yeah, it's not worth the ride. And then Salamanca says, "Now get out of my territory." And he smacks the back of Tuco's horse. Yeah, you know what? So he smacks the back of Tuco's horse. Give me an animal handling check. And he's also going to walk over, almost immediately, slap that horse, and then he's going to go walk over towards Darren's horse, and he's going to go to smack it. So I want a animal handling check from Coyotito, and I want to know what Darren's going to do as he's approached.
10.
Darren has the okay to go. He does not want this to fall under.
Yeah, so you just kind of go, right? You just kind of tuck the heels. and go. So yeah, you kind of like move, and meanwhile with a
Yeah.
10, you're gonna kind of bobble around. I'm not going to say you fall off, but between you and Tuco, you almost do.
We're
And
like
so
uncomfortably bouncing against each other.
yeah, and you're like you have to like reach back like when you're driving with like a 2x4 out your car from Home Depot. You like reach back and like grab Tuco, and you're like trying to like hold him as you're like bouncing around.
It's like screaming, "Ah, my ankle!"
And oh my god, yeah, the snake bite. Oh jeez, man, bad luck for Tito. And Denver takes off with you guys. And so you guys are strolling through what is essentially a wasteland at this point. Like it looks like it's getting very deserty, quote unquote. Um, uh, but before the end of this day, you're actually able to reach this like small outcropping of trees, and Tuco, like exhausted, he goes, "Stop! Stop! You got to stop! It's killing my ribs! Stop!"
Whoa, guys, let's hold up.
And he kind of like wriggles himself off the back of the horse, like allowing himself to like land on the ground. Like his ribs must be killing him from bopping up and down on that horse all day. And he kind of rolls over and he kind of rocks up and he goes, "It isn't far. It's just an hour. We'll be there tonight."
Perhaps we should. Wait, did you say there's like some outcroppings, or no? It's just barren
So
desert.
I think
Huh?
you guys kind of rode up, like you're getting towards the edge of the desert now, and you kind of have reached this trees, and like that was his signal to himself to like kind of start to jostle around. So you've kind of reached the border between the two biomes, and you're sort of at this group of trees that kind of marks that point.
Cool. Can we like try to hide? Because I want to just check to make sure that those bandits aren't fucking following us.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. So if you want to, so when he drops off, if you want to try to like shuffle into those, like kind of move your horse into there and kind of motion to Darren or whatever, yeah, I would say do that.
Just
And
be
then
like, let's take a short break, guys, before, he said it's 1 hour away. Whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, so I want to like hide and
he gets
keep
it.
a lookout.
Okay, so as you do, you move the horses in. Tuco is glad to be stopped for any amount of time, so he's kind of just like trying to arch his back, and the sun is still up. It is moving towards dusk, but it is not there yet. And as you sit there quietly, I imagine waiting, watching, you don't see anybody following you out of the hot desert.
Terrific. All right, Darren, you ready to head out of here? Get our gold, and you,
Ready?
Denver, get your revenge. I say him, kind of glance at Tuco.
And Denver kind of like spits out.
Especially after the horse.
Yeah. And Denver just spits. I think that's all he does. And so you remount. You head kind of, it's getting a little bit more shrubland. And as the sun is kind of about to go down, the moon is already fully out and it is bright and large. And you can see about 75 feet away, as you kind of clear the horizon line, you can see this hut, more like a small farmstead, something barely able to be called a house. And Tuco starts grumbling. "You see, I did not lie to you, friend. I told you." But only you can hear that, I think, probably because he's on the back of your horse. Coyotito.
Excuse me. Yeah. So I'll say to Darren, he says it's here.
And Denver looks back and says, he says a lot of things.
Sorry, Darren. I said it to Darren.
Oh yeah, no, I just figured that he would hear it too and just kind of
Gotcha.
take the piss out of him a little bit.
Yeah. Darren nods his head to Denver's statement, says, we still need to be ready.
And so,
And
oh, sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, and you guys just kind of continue to approach, and the sun kind of goes down fully as you reach this hut, this house. And Tuco says, "Let me down. I'll tell you where it is. I'll show you."
Okay. I'll dismount and get him off too. And kind of like pull out my gun and put it to his back.
And yeah, so he's down off the horse, and he kind of walks up to the door, and he says, "I'm gonna need my hands." And Denver says, "I ain't taking off your chains. Leave them on." What do you want? Open the door at least. And now, just to be clear, Coyotito, you're off your horse?
Yes.
What about Darren?
Darren keeping watch. He's on his horse with his weapon drawn.
Okay. I think Denver is too.
With the bandits from before, he wants to be safe.
Yeah, I think Denver is kind of in a similar position. He has his revolver out on his horse. So, Coyotito, you're on the ground. Denver says leave the chains on. And Tuco's saying, well, at least open the door.
I guess I'll... Does the door swing inward or outward?
It's a good question. I think the door would swing inward. Inward with hinges on the right.
Okay,
Door
I'll
handle on
say,
the left.
open the door yourself.
So he kind of tries to he gets to the handle. And he starts shaking it around with his hands like he has. And he would, though, eventually, I guess, be able to get it. And the latch would click. And he would kick open the door. And, okay, so Coyotito, roll me a perception check as this door swings open.
16.
Okay, so it is a dark room, and as the door swings open, you distinctly hear click, click of two hammers being cocked.
I want to kick Tuco in the ass, like straight forward, and try to close the door while screaming, ambush!
Okay, so let me do this. Give me an attack on Tuco. Say with proficiency. Just give me a straight attack on him. That'll determine whether or not he ends up going into the door like you want him to or not. This is all happening as a reaction to what you
11.
saw. 11. Okay. So I think you kick him, but he like basically hits the side of the hut instead of going into the door.
Mhm.
So you slam the door shut, but he's outside and he falls to the ground. So Tuco hits the ground, and now I need everyone to roll initiative.
Ah,
Nice.
yes, Darren, you are on top of it. Good job.
Okay, so it's going to look like this. Darren, and then unknown people. Then it's going to be wait, I'm sorry. Is 6 the total for you, or is that pre-mod?
6 is the total. I rolled a 2.
Oh, geez. Okay, let me actually check, because Denver might go ahead of you. Oh, yeah, he does. Okay, so it's actually Denver and then Coyotito. So we have to switch those two. Okay, so so Darren, in front of you, the door got opened by Tuco, and then suddenly Coyotito kicked Tuco down, and pulled the door shut.
Instinct is to slide off the horse and just try to get to the location where you need to.
So like next to the door maybe, or like up, or just like back up against the side of the house.
Against the side of the could you describe the house for me a bit?
Sure, yeah.
Or
So picture like where the front door is, that wall is, let's say, 20 feet, and there's the door, and to the left of the door, about 6 feet, is a window, and then the whole house is basically just that 15 feet by 15 feet by 15 feet by 15 feet. So the whole thing is just a big 15-foot square, and it just has a simple roof on the top of it. And you don't necessarily know what it looks like from the inside, but you can see that there's, like I said, the door and the window on this wall. And when you approached, you could see that there were 2 windows on the side wall that you approached past.
he runs towards the side of the door, trying to regroup with Koito.
Okay. And then inside, you're gonna hear, "Tuco, is that you out there?" And then Tuco responds, "Yes, it's me. It is Tuco. You son of a bitch. We've been looking all over for you. You found me, friend. You found me, but I'm in a bit of a trouble here, and you're going to have to deal with it. Unless you want these fellas to kill me, because I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to do." And you hear them say, "Son of a bitch." And that's going to be their move. And that's going to bring up Denver. And Denver's going to say, "I knew you good for nothing." But as he's about to draw his gun and shoot at Tuco, you hear from inside, they say, "You're lucky as hell that we've seen that gold with our own eyes, or I swear we'd off you right now." And Denver stops for a moment. And that's going to bring us back to Darren. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. No, because we had to switch the position. Denver was before Coyotito. That brings us to Coyotito.
Yeah, so yeah, I imagine is So Denver's still on his horse,
I think.
or is everyone
You know what?
dismounted?
Actually, so I think he pointed, he paused when he heard that, and now he's in the process of getting off of his horse. So he's dismounting now.
Yeah, I probably was like waving at him to like, no, don't shoot him, don't shoot him. Hello, mi amigos. Who are you inside this lovely house?
Oh, my friend, you don't want to know us. We're the devil and his amigo.
Well, if there's one thing I know about the devil, it's that he loves a good deal.
Guy says, there's one thing about this devil. He's done with deals. I've made deals with Tuco.
I am not Tuco. Make a deal with me for Tuco. We have no need for him. Just the gold that you have seen.
We've seen it. We know it exists, but we still need Tuco, and we don't need you.
We will give you Tuco and ride towards the gold. Just give us the location, and we will hand over this fiend.
So he knows, like, if he doesn't know the location, he needs Tuco to take him to it.
Okay, I see.
So, and Tuco knows that, so he knows that these guys need him alive, and now some of you need him alive. So he had two problems, and he's decided to solve one of them, at least now, by having you guys kill each other. One of you's got to win, he figures.
Look, he has plenty of gold to go around. Just come out here with your hands held high, and we will all go and travel to find the gold together.
Okay, so I think that's going to wrap up your turn. I don't think you're going to get your answer until their turn. But roll me a... I don't want to say persuasion, because this is not persuasive, because they'd just be surrendering to you, basically. No, you know what? No, that's okay. Let's just leave it here, and let's bring it over to Darren.
Tuco's outside.
Yeah, Tuco is like slumped against the side of the house, the front of the house.
Darren trying to keep him towards the side of the house, covered, and puts the pistol to his head and makes an audible click with his revolver and says, I want to kill him to begin with, and the gold ain't that much to me. So we have two options here. You come out, and he doesn't die, or he dies, and we just have a firefight.
Okay. So now you are right next to him, right?
Right.
Okay. So now the way I pictured is, so there's the door, and there's kind of Tuco slumped next to the door where he got kicked. And then, because the window is like 5-6 feet to the left of the door, the window is kind of right there to the left of him. So as you stand over him, I'm going to count you as having half cover, because the most of the wall will cover you up to about your waist. But I do think some of you might be visible through the other side of the window, which is dark on the inside, and you can't necessarily see in. Now it's going to be their turn, and one of them is going to take a shot at you. So that's going to be with disadvantage. No, I'm sorry. It's +2 to your AC for the cover. So that's what it is. Okay. So that's going to be that's a 14 plus. What do they get? Dex is 3. So that's 17 against your AC +2.
Yeah, that hits.
It still hits?
It does.
Oh, wow. Okay. Does it just hit, or?
It just hits by about 1.
Okay.
Yeah, 1.
Yes, I don't think it was a particularly good shot. So you're going to take 5 damage. It's not a particularly good shot. I don't think they could see you that well. They just saw shapes moving on the other side of the window. But you are going to take a shot. Let's say it kind of clips your shoulder. And that's your answer to your question. Now, at the same time, you're going to hear the back door kind of you're going to hear a door in the back kind of slam open. And let me see. Okay. A rifle shot is going to sound off from that side of the house, which neither of you two can see. It's a shot at Denver, where he was dismounting towards that corner. It misses by a long shot. Terrible roll. So the bullet kind of goes twang, and Denver goes, son of a, shooting from the back. And that's going to bring up Denver, who is going to return fire. Damn, I just dropped the dice. Okay, I think it disappeared forever. I'll just roll this one twice. Okay, so that's going to be... It just misses. 14. Oh, wow. So he kind of is almost using his horse as cover. Like at first, he pulls his horse around, uses the corner, leans out, shoots twice. Twang, twang. You don't hear anything. No cries of pain. And that brings up Coyotito.
Can I try to sneak around the other side of the house so that I think that the guy's back is to me?
Sure. What's your speed?
30.
30. So you are going to be able to... okay, so if you're moving full speed, you're doing it upright. If you're trying to avoid the windows and stuff as you go, then you'll be moving at half speed for stealth.
And half speed wouldn't get me all the way around the house, right? Because it's 15 by 15.
Correct. It's 15 by 15. If you move the full speed, you'll make it to this corner and then to the next corner. And you'll basically be at the end of it. Now you could move stealth and dash and get there anyway, moving stealthy and use one of your actions up.
I have a cunning action too as a dash or dodge, disengage.
Oh, you can use what, like dash as a bonus, I think?
As a bonus action, yeah.
So there you go. There's an option. So then you can use dash as a bonus instead of your action, and then you could basically stealth to that corner and still have both of your actions left that way.
Yep, that's what I'm going to do then.
Okay. Yeah, so I imagine you kind of tuck over. You're kind of like crouched. You're like just at the right level to be able to scoot underneath the window that you saw a bullet come out and wing Darren from before. So you know someone's shooting out of there. So you get low and you run past Darren, and then you turn around the corner and you make it to the back. And yeah, when you peek out, you're going to see a guy holding a rifle, like up against his shoulder, aimed towards the long way of the house, like that, the way of the house that you just ran down, but parallel.
Cool. I mean, I want to fire at him if I can, but I don't know
Okay.
if.
Yeah, you have both of your actions left, so you've reached the corner. You'll be doing this with surprise, so you'll have advantage on the first attack. The second attack, you will not.
I only have one attack, I believe.
Oh, that's right. You're a rogue, right?
I'm a rogue, yes.
Okay, so yeah, but you do have your sneak attack then on this.
I do have my sneak attack.
That's like 3 attacks.
Oh, and with advantage, oh my gosh. I rolled a 1 and a 5.
Oh my goodness.
A 12 with advantage.
AC is 15.
Yep. Pew, pew, fired right by him. Surprise, motherfucker.
And he kind of like quickly like turns his gun, like immediately as he, the fire like kind of, blows across his bow, so to speak.
I need to kill a rabbit and get its foot and carry it around with Coyotito because he's got not good luck.
Yeah, his luck is really terrible. And that is going to bring up Darren. So Darren, you are bleeding a little bit. I imagine you're kind of like, you've moved yourself away from the window a little bit, so you're not out in front of there, and you're kind of over Tuco now, who's still chained.
Darren is. Darren's going to try to blind fire through the window.
Okay. There is a rule for blind fire, isn't there?
Yeah, I think there is.
I think in this case, given their AC, it essentially makes it like a 20. I think we would count it as like 3/4 cover, which is +5 to AC. But wait, what are you blind firing? Were you the one that took the shotgun, or you still using a revolver? Or what are you using right now?
Still using a revolver.
Revolver. Okay, yeah. So then we're gonna consider it 3/4 cover if you blind fire into the house, because it's not a very big house. So yeah, you can take your action. The AC is essentially 20 then, instead of the 15.
Okay. Okay.
Oh man. And do you have 1 attack action or 2?
Just the 1.
Just the 1. Okay. So yeah, so you like shoot back into the same shot, like where the glass is broken from it shooting out at you, and you shoot in, and you hear, "Son of a bitch, that was close." And so that's going to then that's going to come back on the unknown. So one of those people, the one out back who just had a shot come across him from Coyotito, is going to turn quickly. Let me see. Yeah, he does. Okay. So he's going to drop his rifle and quickly pull his revolver, and taking his other hand, he's going to hit the hammer twice. Quick fire. Oof, bad roll on that one. So that's a 6 and 18.
18 hits.
Okay, so yeah, the first one misses. Ooh. And the second one hits you and does 13 damage. Oh, by the way, you know what? I just want to let you know, we took a short rest before, So if you wanted to roll one of your hit dice, you can, and add that to your HP from that rest before. I meant to remind you. But then
Thank
go
you
ahead
for
and
that.
take
Yeah,
another 13 away.
do that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Nice. Yeah. That's bleeding. It's bleeding severely.
Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, I think like right into your thigh, and you take a hit. And then the guy inside is going to come, and Darren, he throws open the front door and he steps out, and he's going to use one of his actions to open up the door. He's going to use his other action to blind fire at you. So kind of the same rules I gave you before. He's considering you at 3/4 cover, so that's adding +5 to your AC. And he's basically going to just try to like open up the door, jump out, and take a shot at where he thinks he knows you are. And that's a 5. Plus that is going to be okay. So that's a total of 8. So he's going to miss, I imagine. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, so he just comes out, nowhere even near you, just hits the dirt. So that's both of them. Now, Denver is on the other side of this guy, having been shooting out the other way. This guy didn't know exactly where Denver was. So Denver is going to kind of turn around and reposition himself, and he's going to take a shot at this guy from very close. Okay, that is going to hit. Not great on the damage. Okay, so that's going to slug into this guy for 7 damage. Okay. So this guy takes the shot is kind of sudden, and I think it's actually more of like damage by just shooting right past this guy's ear. So it's just pow, and you see the guy that jumped out the door grab his ears and that's Denver's turn, and that's going to bring up Coyotito. Out back, you just got shot.
Yeah, I just got crushed. Like, oh man. Okay. So I can like kind of go back behind the building, right? So that I'm out of sight from him. And then what does this roof look like?
So it's basically just like it meets at a high point in the middle. Oh, shoot. It meets at a high point in the middle. He probably just lost connection. Hopefully we'll get him back. Otherwise it's going to be a lonely game. This is getting towards the end of it anyway, though. Yeah, so you kind of whip back. You're taking basically half cover here. You got like your lower half behind there, and you look up, and the roof is a tin roof, and like I said, it's about 8 feet above you, and it meets at a high point in the middle.
Yeah, tin roof's probably not going to support my weight, right?
I think it would.
If I think I can fucking jump on top of it and climb it, I would love to do so because I can climb at my full speed.
Okay, then yeah.
And jump dex mod feet further. So I have like a high jump.
Yeah, so just give me a acrobatics.
Cool. 23.
Awesome. So yeah, so you're fairly easily you kind of holster
even
your
though
gun.
I'm bleeding out of my side. I'm like, fuck it.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Actually, can you roll that one more time because you should actually have disadvantage on checks.
On everything, on all skill checks. Thanks.
On skill checks. Yeah, this is the first time that we're doing that because all the rest have been attack checks.
12.
Okay, so it's actually a 12. So I'm going to say that you are able to get up there, but with the wounded leg, it takes you your whole movement instead of being able to move at your full pace.
Okay, cool.
So you still have an action left.
So I'm like up on the roof. Can I see him, the guy who fired at me, who shot me, not fired at me, fucking shot me?
So he has moved kind of behind the wall as well, like the same as you had.
Yeah.
So you can't see him from where you are right now. No, I don't think so.
Okay. Can I see any bad guys?
No, because you're so you're at the opposite corner of where the other bad guy is.
Okay. I want to like, I don't know, hide on the roof. Can I hide on the roof? Probably not.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't probably stealth, but you're up there, so you're kind of less visible as it is. You technically could use an action to move if you wanted to, because you could call it.
Yeah, I'd like to like stealthily move around, trying to put someone in my sights, and probably not the guy who just shot me.
Yeah, then I think you'd basically just move back towards the front of the house on the roof from where you are, and you might have a shot at the guy who burst out the door.
Yep.
Like you did hear shooting back there, so I think it'd be normal for you to head back that way.
Okay, so stealth.
Cool. Yeah. Roll me a stealth.
At disadvantage. And we got 15.
Not bad, actually. So there is a little bit of a thung as you kind of drag that one foot a little bit clumsily, but it's not too bad, and you're actually able to kind of creep along the top of the roof.
Sweet. Thanks.
And that will bring up Darren. Darren, you have this guy who's kind of burst through the door now, and you know that you have Denver on the other side of him.
I the shot.
Awesome.
Well, Denver takes a shot.
Regular. Well, no, you go first. Denver's move was before Coyotito, so yeah, just roll your attack.
I'm ashamed of it. 5.
Ooh. A 5 total?
5 total.
Oh, man. So yeah, you fire and you kind of I think you actually wing Denver's horse, like on the rump, and it kind of like takes off like down the side of the house a little bit. So you hear like and the horse down the side of the house it goes. Do you want to take any movement action here? Do you think Darren would move after taking that shot, or would he still just be like next to Tuco? Okay, I'm gonna say he just fires the revolver and stays put. Might have lost connection again, so we'll see.
Oh, okay. Poor guy, man. Rough life.
Yeah, he's not getting the shots right. All of you guys are having some pretty terrible rolls in crucial situations. And so that's going to bring up those two other guys, right? So yeah, so we have the guy along the side. So he's going to come running up towards where he heard shots as well. So I think that makes sense. And okay, so you know what? Actually, I'm going to have him roll a deck save. Okay, he makes it. So Coyotito, yeah, he did drop. So hopefully he'll be coming back. So Coyotito, you can hear from the other side of the house. You hear like, holy, the horse took off, and the guy that had shot you was running up that side of the house. He like almost got ran over by the horse, but he manages. Yeah, well, if his roll was a little lower, he might have, but he doesn't. So he makes it up the side of the house, and he's got his rifle drawn, And as he comes around, he's going to fire 2 shots at Denver. We're going to see how this goes. Pull the sheet. Ooh, first one hits. Second one does not. Okay, so the first one hits, and that's going to do 12 damage. Okay. So, Darren, you don't see the shot get fired, but you can see Denver behind the guy that you just missed suddenly take a shot. He wasn't injured before, right? No, he was fine. He takes a shot, and his shoulder just lurches forward, and you can actually see like the wound blossom like a flower on the front of his shoulder from the exit wound as it starts to bleed profusely. And Coyotito, you kind of see this too, as you've already reached the corner of the house that would make that visible. So as you're reaching there, you hear the gunshot go off from the opposite side of the house, and you hear Denver scream and his body lurch forward. And that's both of their move. No, that's the one guy's move. The other guy who just got shot by Denver, who came bursting through the wall, he is going to turn around. He is startled, so he's going to lose one of his actions, having just been shot from behind by Denver. But he's still going to turn around with his revolver and fire off a shot. So that's going to be for 15. That just hits. So 6, 7. He fires off and gets a gut shot into Denver. So Denver is essentially sandwiched between these two guys. One of them gave him a rifle shot to the shoulder, and the other gave him a gut shot with a revolver, and he drops to the ground. Darren, you can still hear his rasping breath. He's not dead or even like unconscious, but he's just taken 2 brutal shots. And that's going to now bring up Denver, who is at meta level, like 2 HP. So he's going to kind of struggle to stand up, and he's going to put one hand down. Son of a bitch, Tuco. You did it. You're finally going to get me killed. He spits blood. And that's going to bring up Coyotito.
So, I think I'm at like the front part of the house roof, right?
Sorry, I was muted. If you were a spectator looking at the front of the house,
yeah,
there's the door, the window. Tuco is still slumped beneath the window. Yeah. Darren next to him. You are above them to the left.
The left. Okay, I thought I was above them to the right. Okay.
No, to the right is the side of the house where the guy with the rifle shot
That's
Denver.
Right. Okay.
And that's where Denver is, down now on the ground between those 2 men. So to you, one of those men and Denver and Darren below you and Tuco below you are visible. That other guy that shot you earlier, he is still not visible because he shot at Denver from along the opposite side of the house from you right now.
Yeah, well, the other guy that shot at Denver, I'm going to shoot him.
Okay.
Is he surprised?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He had turned the opposite way to shoot Denver, so essentially you flanked him. You have the advantage for flanking, which gives you sneak attack, so we're calling that surprise.
And this is not at disadvantage. This is at advantage, actually.
Correct. Right. Yeah, because it's an attack, not a check, and because you have the flank surprise, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, so 17.
Okay, 17 hits. Absolutely. Give that.
Oh my gosh, this is my first of the game.
It was bound to happen eventually.
Yeah, roll the dice enough times. Okay, So let's see how much damage I can do. Ooh. Okay, so I am like aiming up my revolver and then fire, dealing 18 damage.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, so this guy had already taken a shot from Denver before, and then he had turned around, surprised, shooting Denver. Now you come from behind him again and shoot him in the back, and just boom, right in the back. You see this guy hit down to his knees. Ah!
Classic
Ah!
Western death.
Reaches back and arches his back and falls forward. And that brings up Darren. Oh wait, unless you need to move.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to use my cunning action to, I guess, move to the
Are you
other
gonna?
side.
Okay, so you're gonna stay on the roof, and now you're gonna basically move across the front wall towards the other corner.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, and then that brings up Darren.
So see right now.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Just what can Darren see right now? Like what's in?
Okay,
You
so
know.
Darren is leaned kind of. I see him next to Tuco still, because oh, that was the thing you cut out before. I was asking you. I don't know if you moved after missing that shot, or did you stay put where you were next to Tuco?
I ended up cutting out.
So yeah, so do you think you would have moved, or would you have stayed?
For the sake of it, I just stayed.
Okay, so then yeah, so I still kind of picture you like sort of. You're on like one knee in the dirt looking out towards the corner where Denver was standing. So in that corner was the whole cluster. So you saw this guy come out of the door, shoot at you, get shot, turn around and shoot Denver. Then, and Denver also got shot from somewhere that you don't even know. Then the guy who shot Denver got shot right in front of you, and now he just fell down to his knees. He looks dead. Denver is rasping. His horse has taken off. Your horse is well trained and still near you in the front of the house. And you think that the other gunshot came from the other side of the house that you can't see, the side where Denver was standing. In terms of what you can see as actual enemies right now, you actually can't see any, unless you consider Tuco one. Oh, and you know roughly that Coyotito is above you, but you're not. You also probably heard him shuffling along the roof, so you know he's up there somewhere, but you're not sure where.
Yeah. Darren walks towards the edge of the house, I imagine, and trying not to startle anyone. I guess stealth.
Yeah, so roll me stealth. This is going to be, so since you're only peeking your head, what I'm basically going to do is take the 3/4 cover rule and reverse it. I'm going to give you +5 to your stealth check.
Okay. Total of about.
I'm sorry, I think I missed that. I heard total of
9.
with the +4. Wow. so you kind of look out, and as you do, you're like you try, you're like your hands are on the edge, and you kind of pull your head over, and when you do, you see a guy looking right down the barrel of a rifle, looking right at you. Obviously, the guy who shot Denver. And you pull your head back, and he's seen you. You've seen him. I'll say you still have your attack action left. That would be a bonus action to look.
I know where he is, so the blind shot isn't really a blind shot, right?
No, if you step out now, you are taking a shot. The only thing is you've already used your bonus action, so you can't step back into cover until the next turn. So he'll have a shot at you, essentially.
I'll go for it. All in.
Okay, so yeah, imagine your hand kind of, your fingers dancing, goes for your revolver, and
Yeah.
you step out, and you lift it, and you shoot. Give us an attack.
$15.
That is exactly what
Oh,
you
wait.
needed. Oh, is it a 15?
Yeah, 15.
Oh, good.
Flat.
Yeah, that is exactly what you needed. Perfect. Yeah, so just give us a damage on that.
Okay. $7.
Nice. So 7 damage to this guy. He takes the shot. Ah! And then he comes back, and that's your turn. So you've used your movement, your bonus, and an action. So he's going to use his actions. Since you just shot him, it takes him 1 action to recover, but he still gets to fire his Browning rifle once. So that's going to be 16 plus 3 is 19. So that's a hit. And that's going to be for 11 damage. So that's at Darren. So Darren, you're going to take a nice slug for 11 damage.
Yeah.
And that's both of his actions to recover and to shoot, and that's going to bring up Coyotito, who you are on the roof still, revolver still drawn, and you would have just, you just got there kind of at the same time as Darren did, and you heard, pew, pew, huh, ah.
Wait, sorry. Did they get Darren too?
Yeah, they traded shots. Darren
Damn.
stepped out with his pistol and shot, and then the guy already had his rifle up. So he took the 1 shot, recovered, and fired the rifle and hit him back.
I want to. So the side of the house that guy's on, does it have a window visible?
Well, he's outside the house.
Right. I know he's outside the house, but if I like.
Well, there are, but you're
Right.
on top of the roof, so you can't, you could guess where they were, because
Yeah.
they're along the same side of the house that you rode up at. So you saw that side of the house as you came.
Yeah. So are they visible from the window or?
Oh, good question. Okay, so where are they along the house? Well, let's see. I will roll essentially a luck die, because I don't have that decided. So I'm going to do basically a coin flip. Above 10, they're next to a window. Below 10, they're not. 17, they are next to a window.
Okay. Well, I'm going to fire at that guy then.
So you're going to lean over the roof?
Yeah.
And shoot
exactly.
at this guy. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, so roll, and you, as you've managed to have almost every time, have your sneak attack, because you are
Dude, that's like I have to try to have it every time.
I know, that's what rogues do. That's what they do. If Darren hadn't, if that stealth roll had gone better, he would have had sneak attack. I'm not sure if he's actually playing a rogue, but he would have had surprise on him when he stepped out, but it didn't work that way.
26.
That is a definite hit.
Yeah. Let's see. 19 this time. Cap some foos.
Wow. Okay. So yeah. So Darren, you step out, you trade blows, and then all of a sudden, from above, you probably were hoping to get some reinforcements, and you sure do. This guy has the rifle aimed at you again as you're raising your pistol again, and suddenly, in the neck, this guy takes it and crumples to the ground. I think in the still, you can just smell the black powder, and you can just hear Denver as he stops breathing right next to you, Darren.
No.
I'd imagine Darren's kind of nearly on kneel from the shot, and he kind of, I imagine he's wearing, and sets it on Denver's chest and say, "I'll get him for you, man. I'll get him for you." Hobbles the best he can back towards Tuco.
Tuco says, I suppose this could have gone better for me. I tell you what, I can see the writing on the wall. Tuco's no fool. The truth is, you're not going to like this. The gold is with Birgit Ritterstedt, the Swedish woman. Good luck getting it from her.
What?
And he just leans his head back and just kind of is ready.
Darren smiles in a mischievous way, and I'm not going to shoot you. You don't deserve that. And let's search for a shovel.
A shovel, you said?
Yeah, shovel.
Yeah, actually, I think Denver has one in his explorer's pack. Like one of those army ones. Like an older version of it that would swivel up.
You know, right? There's got to be like a real shovel around.
Yeah, and there almost certainly is. Yeah, if you like take 20 minutes, you'll find it. Like the equivalent. It'll be like 10, 15 minutes, whatever. But yeah, I mean, if you look around, there's an outbuilding, you'd find one in there.
Yeah. Darren nods over to what's his name?
To
Coyote.
Stacy.
Or Tuco.
Carhito.
Yeah.
And he tosses a shovel his way and says, "Come on, let's dig a ditch." And after he picks up Tuco, despite resistance, and lays him in the hole with just his head sticking out. It's not a small hole, it's a deep one. And lets just his head stick out. Buries him. A small knife. Just the equivalent of a switchblade, barely 2 inches. And throws it to his mouth and says, "Good luck." And rips.
And so I think at this point, you guys will be riding off, and you'll be doing so to the lovely sounds of Tuco screaming, "This won't be the last of me! This won't be the last of Tuco! You sons of bitches! I'll come for you! I'll kill you in your sleep! And I'll kill you!" As it drones off as you ride into the quiet night. And that will wrap up Tuco's
Yes.
Gold, a 5e
Nice.
Western Extravaganza.
Oh,
So I'm just going to, real quick, I just want to give you guys a chance before I kill the broadcast, and then we can chat a little bit. If you guys just want to introduce yourselves, if you have a channel or anything like that, if you just want to say so, or any groups that you like to hang out on Facebook, tell the 7 or 8 people that will watch this, and maybe they will join you. Let's start with Jack. Go ahead.
I've got nothing. I'm a nobody. Great game, though.
Thank you. And and Philip.
yeah, I'm Philip. Thanks for the game, Murray. This is really, really fun.
Awesome. Excellent. All right, I'm going to kill this stream real quick, and then, yeah, we'll stay here for a minute.